Hi guys, welcome again to another little presentation of mine that I want to discuss and share with you. This is just a follow-up on one of the earlier presentations I made on raw data, but I just thought maybe I would share something very important with you on some of the things that you can note when you are flying ILS raw data approaches. So let's start first of all by discussing about uh, flight director approaches with the ILS. Okay, so I've just made a sketch here of the artificial horizon that is seen on the aircrafts. The blue represents the sky and the brown represents the earth. And the little square you see in the middle there is basically the center of the aircraft's axis. I have just not drawn the wing bars for clarity. Now, when you talk of ILS with flight directors will give you a guidance. Okay, you will have the lateral guidance given to you by the vertical bar, and this is for you to steer the aircraft left or right to keep it centralized. And then you have the horizontal bar to give you the vertical guidance up or down. When you keep them crossed on the airplane center axis, like the way it's shown here, and this is just a very expanded image, but even on the real aircraft, when you keep them neatly and correctly and exactly and precisely crossed, in the corners here you might be able to see some little black squares. Okay, that tells you that you exactly are on profile, vertically and also laterally. And then you just make small corrections to counter any deviations from your flight path. Small corrections mean that you just have to steer so that the outer edges of the bars are just touching the outer edges of the aircraft symbol in the middle, the square in the middle. That would be enough if you are quick to recognize that you are deviating either horizontally or vertically. So you just align the outer edges of either bar on the outer edges of the little square in the middle to make your correction. Unless you've gone very, very far off, then it's a different story. But if you are going to follow the small corrections, quick corrections, small corrections, quick corrections saying, which our instructors and our training captains and the like have always been instilling in us, then that's what it means. Okay, you don't need to go more than the width of the bars by aligning them on the outer edges of the square. Okay, so when you do that, you will note that your glide slope is centralized and your localizer is centralized. Okay, that's very important that you understand that. That's how you're going to fly a flight director ILS approach. Now I've removed the roll bar, and now I'm going to remove the pitch bar. This setup on your PFD where you don't have any flight directors, it's called raw data. Raw meaning basic mode, flight school type. Okay, where your guidance are your indicators, the localizer indicator at the bottom and the glide slope indicator on the side here. Those are your guidance. Okay, so today we will be talking about this. I'll be showing you a video of the actual flight that we did with this raw data approach and taking you through one or two things you can actually see and you need to focus on for this raw data approach to be perfect or near perfect. Mind you, there are many other factors involved like rough air on the ground and the like, which can change the profile slightly but easily corrected, and you'll be seeing all this happening as we progress through the video. So once you have that, your display looks like this with all the dots of the glide slope indicator and the localizer indicator, the way it is. This is just a bit more animated. The real one, you'll see it in the video. So now, as you can see here, I'm just going to show you this little video that we made. And before I play the video, I want to just go through a couple of things on this PFD, primary flight display of the Dash 8 Q400, which is always a subject of my presentations because the aircraft which I fly. But other aircrafts will have very much similar, if not the same, setup for all this. So there isn't much of a difference to any aircraft across the board in terms of how you fly raw data approaches. Okay, all aircraft have got very much similar, and depending on the sophisticated nature of that aircraft, it will have other details and information as well, but all in all, it's always mostly the same. Okay, so on this screen, what you see here is that glide slope pointer that we talked about. Okay, and what you see here is the localizer pointer. Okay, and after that you have what you call the CDI, the course deviation indicator on the compass rose. In this case, the localizer has been captured, and it's manual flying, by the way. You can see on the FMA there is nothing, so it's manual flying, where we have actually captured the localizer in autopilot, but then it was taken manually, and now we are trying to keep these pointers centralized as much as we can using our corrections and the like. Okay, so that's a CDI. The center part of the digital needle has to be has to fit into the two outer parts like a puzzle. So when that is done, that means that you can rest assured that you are on the localizer with a wind correction. Okay, and then I want us to emphasize on this region of the primary flight display when flying raw data. This can make life a bit simple. Why I'm saying that is because the glide slope indicator and the localizer, these indicate, especially we talk of the glide slope indicator in this case, the localizer, we can ignore this one for now. This region which I have actually highlighted here has to do mostly with the glide slope indicator. When you are flying the ILS, this indicator moves up and down depending on your profile, and you are correcting it, so you are trying to keep it in the center all the time. On the vertical speed indicator, which is somewhere just outside the screen but you'll see it, there is a reading at the bottom which shows you the rate of descent. Now, often human nature, we are always used to seeing the bigger things, and the small things, we can't easily pick them up until we have a lot of practice. Okay, that's the human nature. We are able to see the biggest thing in front of us and the small thing which is also somewhere there, but we can't pick it up immediately. We can pick it up later, but not immediately. So what I'm trying to say here is that when you are flying the glide slope, if you will put the wing bars, these wing bars, in between the horizon line and the -5° line here, the pitch line here, if you will keep the wing bars in this box, somewhere there, depending on how far you've gone from the glide slope, if you've gone very far, then it's a go around, and you know that. You cannot go more than one dot, okay, unless you've got visual contact, and you can correct it. Okay, but normally, if you can keep the pitch in between the horizon line and the -5° line, somewhere in this box here where the pointer is pointing, you can rest assured that your glide slope will not deviate too much from the center, or it will remain the center. And the moment you see that this diamond is coming out, you raise the nose slightly or lower the nose slightly, very little corrections, keeping this wing bar in between these two lines. you can see that you'll be correcting for the glide slope with very much ease. Okay, it needs a bit of practice. So the small correction, quick correction also applies to that. Okay, so your eyes obviously have to be scanning. As you know that the training captains and the instructors have always emphasized people to scan, scan, scan. Yes, people do scan. Sometimes they take time because they're getting used to the environment, the situation. But the more you fly, the more you do this, the more experience you get, the more your scanning speeds up. Okay, that's my point. I always believe in more practice, more experience, and that's how we get all these things coming in together and understanding it. Okay, so the moment you see the diamond is moving a bit out towards the top, you can raise the nose slightly, and you may not even need to reach the horizon line, or if anything, you might reach just a bit on top of it and bring it back down. If you see the diamond is going down, you'll pitch down slightly, keeping the wing bars just in between the horizon line and the -5 degree line. This is called the box. Okay, in that box, by the way. Okay, so I hope that this technique, to some of you, it will work and it will make sense. Okay, and otherwise, the other thing that we have is this wing bars here. This is what I'm talking about, and these are aeroplane wings. The one is the left, one is the right. I'm pretty sure the ones which are going downwards are maybe the landing gear or the undercarriage. But anyway, this is what I was trying to emphasize in this video. How to keep your glide slope centralized simply by looking at this bigger image here of the wing bars and keeping it between the horizon line and the -5 degree line. Then make a quick cross check with the vertical speed rate of descent here, somewhere that side, and then you will see that you are between around 600 to 800 feet per minute, somewhere around there, which is typical for a 3-degree descent angle for a glide slope. Okay, I hope that has made sense, and if it has, then we can continue. Now what we'll do, we will now play the video, and then I'll talk to you through it as we go along. So let's see how the ILS was being flown. And you can see that the corrections are in the box here, pretty much in the box. You can see now the glide slope is moving downwards, so the slight pitch down. There was quite a few updrafts and downdrafts in this approach because of the winds and the thermals. It's quite hot that day, so the corrections are there, but you can see that the glide slope is trying to be kept so it doesn't go more than 1 dot. So here it is gone quite a bit down, and the pitch has gone, but now you can see that the glide slope is coming up, and the pitch here is being raised slightly up as well. At the same time, the localized center line is also being kept in the center, and you can see that the glide slope is not going very far from the center. It's 1,000 feet, and now the glide slope is centralized. You can see the reading here is 800, 700, 800. You can see the feet per minute on the vertical speed. Okay, there goes the glide slope slightly going up again. So the nose will be raised. There, the nose is being raised. You can see, and there it's been arrested. And here comes the glide slope back towards the center. And the wing bars, you can see what I'm trying to emphasize here. These wing bars always remain between the horizon line and the -5 degree line. This is very important. And the localizer is being kept very nicely. Now here you can see the torque is around 26%, corresponding to 23,000 kilograms of weight, which in my last video, one of the last videos, I did mention about how to set the torque settings and the like. Okay? Then you can see that corrections are being made, small corrections, quick corrections, all the way towards the landing. 300 feet above the ground we are approaching, and you can see the glide slope is being maintained perfectly, okay, within limits, just by looking at these wing bars and playing in this box here between the horizon line and the 5-degree line. And now if you see outside, here's the runway, okay, 2 whites, 2 reds, and it's a near perfect approach that was flown in this case. Alright, so that's basically about it. All I want to tell you, that this is how you fly a raw data ILS approach. I hope it makes sense. This is a small technique. Many of you will have other techniques as well, which is very nice to hear from you or share on the same platform as well. Okay, till the next time, be safe and take care, and always be safe whenever you are flying. and make comments, please, whether they are negative comments or positive comments, but please do make comments. It's very much appreciated. Thank you very much.